Times. His Majesty unveils commemorative plaque of the Stem Cells Treatment Center at the Jordan University, the first of its kind in the kingdom and set to lead stem cells research in the region. Displaced Syrian families return home and schools reopen in rebel-held districts of Aleppo after a truce was extended for 72 hours in the battleground northern city. And Lebanese Prime Minister Tamam Salam cast his vote in the first phase of municipal elections, voicing hope the poll would open the door for presidential elections in the country. Good evening and welcome to a new edition of the news. His Majesty King Abdullah inaugurated the Stem Cell Center at the University of Jordan, where he unveiled a commemorative plaque and later toured the facility, the first of its kind in the kingdom. The center is part of the kingdom's effort to advance scientific research, develop human resources and promote medical tourism, as well as to encourage investment in the medical sector. The center, featuring a number of specialized labs, will also be a training hub for specialists, researchers and medical students. Accompanying His Majesty on the tour was the center's director, Abdullah Al-Abbadi, who briefed him on the facility's functions. The Stem Cell Center was set up through a grant from the Saudi Fund for Development. Saudi Ambassador to Jordan, Prince Khalid bin Faisal bin Turki Al Saud, was among attendees at the inauguration ceremony. Palestinian Foreign Minister Riyad al-Maliki met in Ramallah with his Belgian counterpart Didier Reynders, who is on a three-day visit to the Palestinian territories. Both men said they welcomed the French initiative of holding an international conference in Paris at the end of this month in a bid to relaunch talks between the two sides by the end of the year. Paris is lobbying countries to commit to a conference before the resumption of peace talks. The conference on the 30th will include the Middle East Quartet, the United States, Russia, European Union and United Nations, the Arab League, the UN Security Council and about 20 countries. Maliki pointed to Israeli settlement policy as one of the main obstacles in the peace process.
Settlement is really eats up the possibility of reaching a two-state solution. We talked about the French initiative and the need to do our utmost to support such initiative and what is really needed, looking for Belgium also to be present in such meeting when that takes place. We talked about our intentions as Palestine to go to the Security Council to present a resolution on settlement issues.
We need to have at least a conference and then maybe to start a process, and we are very open to take part, if it's possible, from Belgium in such a process. I said that we are open again to organize some meetings among business people from both sides, from Palestinian authorities, territories and from Israel. But we are asking to go further with the same two-state solution since so many years that we are so afraid to see that it will be more and more difficult to do that due to the settlements.
Syrian warplanes attacked Daesh terrorists near the northern city of Aleppo as the government tried to push back an insurgent advance in the area. Dozens of airstrikes hit near the town of Khan Tuman, which rebels took late on Thursday, according to reports by state media. The Syrian army said it hit hard at what it described as terrorist groups, but did not give details on any territorial gains. Inside Aleppo, where Russia said it extended a truce that began on Wednesday until Monday, rebels said the Syrian army shelled and bombed overnight their post near Frontline in the western part of the city near Al-Jamiyat, Al-Zahra neighborhood. Aleppo had been divided into government and rebel-held zones through much of the Syria conflict, and rebels are seeking to take over the area that would allow them to enter the heart of the government-held parts of Aleppo. Turkey, meanwhile, said its shelling had killed 55 Daesh fighters in northern Syria late yesterday. The attack was in retaliation for weeks of rocket attacks on a Turkish border town, according to the Turkish military. Artillery fire hit the region of Sudan and Tal el-Hissen, north of Aleppo, as well as Baragida and Kusakjik, taking out the 3 rockets installations and 3 vehicles in addition to the killing of the terrorists. Earlier yesterday, US-led coalition airstrikes in Syria killed 48 Daesh members, according to a report from Turkish state media. 8 US-led coalition strikes hit Daesh positions in Syria yesterday, 3 of which near Mar'a, and targeted the group's tactical units. The US military statement said 17 airstrikes were launched against Daesh in Iraq. 6 of the strikes were near Mosul, hitting Daesh tactical units and destroying a number of vehicles. Displaced families returned home and schools reopened in rebel-held districts of Syria's Aleppo after a truce was extended for 72 hours in the battleground northern city. Residents trickled back into eastern areas of the city, encouraged by a halt in the deadly violence. More than 300 civilians were killed in 2 weeks of fighting in the divided city before the truce took hold on Thursday. Here's more on the struggle of the residents in Aleppo.
It's time to rebuild in Aleppo, at least for now. With a fragile ceasefire in place, residents in government-controlled areas are starting to clean up and restore some of their life before the shelling returns. At Al-Dabit Hospital, Dr. Mohammed Al-Dabit says he hopes the truce holds. He says, "I hope this ceasefire will be long and that the whole world will see that we are innocent people being killed. We want an opportunity to work. Our country needs hospitals to function." Elsewhere, shopkeepers are open for business, even with signs of war hanging overhead. Shop owner Abdusalam Sahib says life has been unbearable.
We hope that God will help resolve the situation. The ceasefire is good, but we just want to be done with this situation. We are sick of the shelling. As we walk, a rocket or a missile falls nearby. Our lives are destroyed.
Syria's war has killed more than 250,000 people, though with many unaccounted for, some say the death toll could be much higher.
3 Spanish journalists kidnapped while working in Syria last year have been released and arrived in Madrid to a rapturous reception from friends and family. The 3 were flown on a Spanish Defense Ministry jet from Turkey. Qatar's state news agency said Qatari authorities have helped free the journalists. Here's more.
3 Spanish freelance journalists who went missing in Syria last year and were believed to have been kidnapped arrived in Spain this morning, a day after the Spanish government said the men had been released. The 3 men, Antonio Pampliega, José Manuel López and Ángel Sastre, arrived in a Spanish army plane at the Torrejón de Ardoz air base 20 kilometers east of the capital Madrid shortly after 10 a.m. They went missing last July while they were working on an investigative report in the northern city of Aleppo, where other journalists have been captured in the past, according to Spanish media reports at the time. Spain's acting Deputy Prime Minister, Soraya Sáenz de Santa Maria, was reported to have made contacts with the 3 men. Some Spanish media, including El País, say the 3 were held by Al-Qaeda's Syrian wing, the Nusra Front, which is designated by the United Nations and the United States as a terrorist organization. Luay Balkar for the news at 10.
Lebanese headed to the polls in the capital Beirut and the Bekaa in the first phase of municipal elections. The elections are being held across the country over 3 weeks, starting today, when the vote of the 24-seat Beirut Council takes place. It is Lebanon's first election in 6 years after parliamentary polls due to be held in 2013 were postponed twice. Speaking after casting his ballot, Lebanese Prime Minister Tamam Salam said he hoped this would open the door for presidential elections in the country. In Beirut, residents are voting for the first time since an 8-month trash crisis ignited anti-government protests. A new Lebanese group dubbed Beirut Madinati, or Beirut My City, has vowed to clean up both the city's street and its politics. It is running against Beirutis, a list backed by several political groups, including the powerful Future Movement of Saad Hariri, the Shiite Amal Movement, and the country's three main Christian groups. And in Baalbek, one of the Bekaa main cities, Hezbollah and allied Shiite group Amal are pitted against family-backed candidates. In Egypt, gunmen killed 8 plainclothes policemen in an ambush that was claimed by Daesh terrorists. The Interior Ministry said the 4 attackers pulled out in a pickup truck and sprayed a police vehicle using automatic weapons before fleeing. The gunmen wore masks, said residents in Helwan, an industrial area on the edge of the capital. It was the deadliest attack on Egypt's security forces in the capital in months. Daesh said the Helwan attack was part of its Abi Ali al-Ambari campaign, which has seen the group carry out a series of bombings and other attacks in Iraq. In its statement, the terrorist group said the attack was aimed at vending women in Egyptian jails. Al-Azhar condemned the attack as a terrorist act. Back here at home, Her Majesty Queen Rania called on the Jordanian University Madaba campus and checked on an initiative in collaboration with Idrak, the first digital platform for educational content in the Arab world. The online national educational course is a fruit of a partnership between the Ministry of Higher Education, the German Jordanian University, and the Queen Rania Foundation. The course focuses on strengthening students' understanding of their national identity in an intercultural context, using short videos and assignments as format. During her visit to the campus, Her Majesty also toured the water and renewable energy labs and stopped briefly at a German language class where interactive dialogue is used as a way to advance linguistic skills. The wildfire ripping through Canada's oil sands region already prompted the evacuation of all 88,000 people, the 7th day of what is expected to be the costliest natural disaster in Canada's history. Fire Captain Adam Bogdan hailed his colleagues as heroes for the sleepless nights in their effort to fight an enormous blaze that engulfed much of Fort McMurray and was only expected to grow in size. But the Fort McMurray fire captain explains that it is not their nature to back away from such a daunting challenge.
I don't consider myself a hero, but I've met more heroes in this experience than I've ever thought existed. Sorry.
It's okay, Adam. It's okay.
Our community has more firefighters and more emergency responders, police, everybody that have given up their own homes that are safe, their own families that are waiting for them to come up in the middle of this beast to help protect my home. They're heroes to me. And everybody that I work with has been holding me up, and I've been holding them up. So I'm in a company of heroes. But we're just doing what we want by keeping our home safe. We don't have a choice. It's not like we can just leave and watch our home burn. We can't do that. We just can't. It's not in us. It's not in us. We're going to do whatever we can.
In the race to the White House, Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton has a higher probability than her likely Republican rival Donald Trump of becoming the next U.S. president, but the gap between the pair narrowed this week, according to the online political stock market Predict. Clinton's probability until Friday was 61%, down from 65% a week ago. The probability that Trump will win the November 8 election was 40%, up from 34%. And while Clinton remains in a fight with Bernie Sanders for the Democratic nomination and holds a clear lead in delegates, Republicans remain deeply divided over Trump. Prominent Republicans, including Speaker of the House of Representatives Paul Ryan and both Bush presidents, among others, have distanced themselves from Trump. Ryan has said he was not ready to support Trump, but will meet him next week.
Along with her friend, you know, she's got this goofy friend named...
Ahead of next week's Eurovision finals, the official exhibition of costumes celebrating 60 years of the song contest opened at the ABBA Museum in Stockholm, Sweden. Costumes worn by artists such as Conchita Wurst, Celine Dion and Johnny Logan are the highlights of the show's history. In other sections of the exhibition, visitors can listen to the biggest hits of the contest, sing along and test their knowledge of the show watched by millions in Europe and beyond. Bayan Olvius, a former member of ABBA, Eurovision Song Contest 1974 winner, opened the exhibition. The Eurovision Song Contest was first broadcast in 1956 by the European Broadcast Union as a cross-border initiative meant to strengthen the bonds between countries in Europe. During the contest's history, more than 1,400 songs have been performed.
Few songs have lasted through the decades, like Puppet on a String, and Volare is a Eurovision song too, isn't it?
It was one of the biggest hits, I think.
I have to say, and I'm not saying this because she's here, but my favorite among the Swedish ones is Trending.
Barcelona remains top of La Liga, and now Real Madrid are in second place, while Atletico Madrid go down to third in a truly sensational title race. In three huge games played this evening, all at the same time, Barca beat Espanyol 5-0 with a double from Suarez and goals from Messi, Neymar and Rafinha. Real Madrid beat Valencia 3-2 to move 1 point adrift of leaders Barca. 2 goals come from Ronaldo and 1 from Benzema. Atletico Madrid, meanwhile, held a 1-1 draw to Levante up until the 19th minute when Rossi scored, giving Atletico a 2-1 blow. After today's result, Barca have 88 points, Real Madrid 87 and Atletico 85. Leicester City celebrated their gloriously unlikely Premier League triumph in a fitted manner with a 3-1 victory over Everton in front of their overjoyed partying fans at the King Power Stadium. Jamie Vardy in a double and Andy King scored the goals that left the home supporters in rapture, even before they could savor the almost unthinkable sight of a captain Wes Morgan and manager Claudio Ranieri lifting the trophy after the final whistle. Leicester overcame 5,000 to 1 odds in a fairy tale season for the Foxes. And finally, for a quick look at the weather, chilly conditions prevail tonight in most regions, while winds will be northwesterly moderate to brisk with clouds at various altitudes. As of for tomorrow, temperatures will continue to rise to become around sensational average this time of the year. Therefore, moderate conditions are in the forecast in most parts of the country, with a slight chance for local showers in the southern and eastern regions. Winds will be northwesterly moderate, picking up in the afternoon. In the Gulf of Aqaba, summer conditions prevail with temperatures in the low 30s, while winds will be northerly moderate and the sea is calm. Next are the lows and highs for tonight and tomorrow. And to end the news, here's a recap of our top stories. His Majesty unveils the commemorative plaque of the Stem Cells Treatment Center at the University of Jordan, the first of its kind in the kingdom, and sets to lead stem cells research in the region. Displaced Syrian family return home and schools reopen in the rebel-held districts of Aleppo after a truce was extended for 72 hours in the battleground northern city. And Lebanese Prime Minister Tamam Salam cast his vote in the first phase of municipal elections, voicing hope the poll would open door for presidential elections in the country. With this, we come to an end. I'm Farah Ajlouni. Thank you for watching and have a good night.